Good afternoon, everybody. How's it going? It is Sunday, 2 Sundays in a row, back to back chat spectacular extravaganza. Rasa and I are back for talking some comics, what we've been reading this week.
Yeah.
What up, dog?
What up? What up?
How are you?
Hello to all. It's nice to chat again. It's a very good feeling, to be honest.
Yep.
I enjoy this a lot lately. So kicks off everything. Let's talk about what.
Mhm.
So I watched that thing, the channel you recommended, the YouTube you put a link on about Mobius and his influence in manga.
Mm. Oh, yeah,
By
yeah, yeah. That
Matt,
Matt channel. Yeah.
yeah, Matt,
Mhm.
whatever his.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I guess that's how he calls his
Yeah.
channel. Yeah. Um, so Matt showed his
Sorry, what was that channel again?
Matt.
That's what I'm calling it from now on. That's pretty good.
Oh, maybe
Matt.
you should, I should get advances for that. Like maybe
Yeah,
some.
yeah.
Um, so anyway, his channel, that video was fantastic. To be honest, I was like
So
proper
good.
into it. I was like, I didn't realize how much there is. It's nice because I knew the history, how he got in, but I didn't really realize how he kind of got in. I knew who he was working, who got influenced him, how
Yeah.
influenced work of Blueberry was from the person. And then I really like that way of work. I think he was so dynamic, and he was saying, then you don't realize when somebody else pointed out, but so you know the facts, but then they pointed out in the video saying this is from 1970s. You don't realize how
Yeah.
influential that person was, and he was doing this dynamic process of the Blueberry. And now you have those other artists who is doing the same kind of work in this day and age, knowing that they
Yeah.
have technology to help them, or everything, like we use technology at the end of the day to help us with references and all that stuff. But then you have a person like him doing that in the 70s. And then
Yeah.
how, like the Akira stuff when we were speaking, and I was like, they talking about how manga was in that era, and
Yeah.
what happened afterwards when they discovered what Mobius is all about, and his work started to go into Asian elements
Just
and
putting
stuff
the
like that.
link in the chat. If anybody ends up
Oh,
watching, you
wow.
can hopefully click on it. That's the
Somebody's
video we're talking about.
somebody's prepared.
Yeah. No, I just did it as you were talking.
Anyway, so it's fantastically to watch for sure. I think it's
Yeah.
very engaging. I think he made basically some points I was aware of for sure, like some facts I was aware of. So, but those three guys, when they went to work together or find it the way to get it, how they created that metal Herland, and that was really interesting for me.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's really kind of makes sense now, because at the end of the day, I know the Fifth Element was absolutely his influence, because you saw the
Oh yeah.
factual pictures of that, which is fantastic. He also he showed that comic book, the first one he did, and then actually basically almost spewed that element of like what is it, the other Harrison Ford movie he was,
Blade Runner.
yeah, the Blade Runner.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting how much the influence or how much work he has done for companies of that era, especially
Yeah.
movies wise, because the one thing for sure, I knew Fifth Element, right? Now when they mentioned Tron, he didn't mention that much of a Tron, which was kind of sad, because I kind of wanted to know more facts, but he kind of grazed that away. Did you realize that he was working for Tron as well? I was like,
Mhm.
excuse me, how, what, like it didn't click me on that. But he didn't really gather that much information, because he was just trying to concentrate to tell you what uh, as a person of artists, and how we look at each other's work, and how we learn from each other, and how we get
Yeah.
inspiration from each other. And like we talk like, okay, if you get into American comics, you get into understanding how important Jack Kirby for lots of artists.
Totally.
And it's funny how he was comparing the American comic books in 1970s or 19 whatever
Hmm.
it is, and he compared to Blueberry, and he's like, wow, this is like really different. Like
Totally. Yeah.
the panel, using the panels, and then also the guy who created, like, who he basically took over from, and I'm blanking the name of that. Is like starts with
Um.
that.
Not
That's the thing.
Charlier or whatever. Wasn't that the
No,
original?
Charlier's
Or is that the
Rasa.
guy afterwards, right? Yeah.
Yeah, the guy who was actually Blueberry, he
Yeah,
joined
yeah.
Blueberry at first, but or his realistic art style was basically used by Blueberry because he was working for him. He was like a father for him, the father figure, and that's I didn't know about his family. I honestly, when I know if I like somebody, I don't really kind of dissect his life beforehand, but it does kind of make sense of how the man thinks and what's influencing him forward thinking to what it goes. I guess the time and era he was born into as well. Like he's
Hmm.
discovering the weeds for the first time, and he gets into that he goes into that
That cult.
society of with crazy people where they close
Yeah,
off of everybody else and they wanted to create their own haven and stuff, that kind of stuff. So it's kind
yeah.
of crazy. And then that he always been looking for somebody as a figure because he didn't have his own, right?
Hmm.
So that's interesting. And also the sexuality part, and like females, like he was upset with females. And I don't know if he digressed on that information in that specifically video. I don't think he did,
Yeah,
but it was,
that was a weird bit to that video. Yeah.
yeah. So I was like, interesting. But at the end of the day, those facts, and there's lots of information, and he still didn't point out. I don't think he finished with the video saying where is all this, who is in charge of his work, right?
He
Who
was talking
owns the
he
rights?
ended up talking about his wife at the end, yeah, that his
Yeah.
wife has kind of taken over stuff, yeah. But
Mm.
I think some of that stuff like that gets into territory where it's a bit of speculation, so he didn't really elaborate on it too much.
Hmm. Because it's like I always say, it's like a hearsay, right?
Yeah.
He said something, you hear from that one, then he interprets this way. Lost in translation is a good saying these days, I think. There's
Yeah.
lots of things we don't really understand, or we interpret it the way we understand the language, right?
Hmm.
Even though we are so open now, everything can be translated to you in any language. Like the barriers are not there anymore, kind of thing. It's everything open.
Hmm.
If like because technology is helping us to kind of communicate. But I think we lose translation anyway because not everything. Because the way you say, let's say a sentence in probably in Lithuanian, and I would say it in English, it wouldn't make the same thing
Right.
because the way we put the words together. Anyway, I'm
Hmm.
going out of it, but lovely video, honestly.
Yeah, the other
Really
thing that was
enjoyed it.
cool was like when he said that it's one of those influences that it's hard to understand it now because there's so many, like we now live in this post kind of Mobius era of sci-fi, but
Yeah.
it's one of those things that at the time it must have
Mm.
been kind of amazing, like nobody had seen stuff quite like this before. Yes, there was stuff in and around that, but he kind of took it to a different level. And I mean, that Jodorowsky's Dune documentary, I always recommend to people because
Mhm.
that guy brought so many artists together that had a huge influence. I mean, H.R. Geiger was on Dune, the Jodorowsky's Dune, and then he goes to do Alien, so it's like it's
Mm.
bonkers. What's going on here? There we go. Just that kind of hand that he's had and stuff that is just mostly unknown. Like I got friends of mine that are huge fans of some of those sci-fi. Like this one guy I work with is a huge Blade Runner fan, enormous. No idea about Mobius, no clue whatsoever. So it's this whole kind of untapped world that all these guys
Yeah,
were kind of dipping into for influence, right? So
it
yeah,
was.
it's really well done. He did a good job.
Yeah, it was good to also make it much more like he had that like almost a family tree going on with the explanation who and
Yeah.
what and where and come from, and then it's actually quite easier for you to actually grasp an idea how many people there is.
Hmm.
Notoriously, like Akira makes more sense now because when he was giving
Totally.
the example to what it was and what it came after, you
Hmm.
clearly see the difference in something. Somebody switched something, right? It has to
Yeah.
be. You can't just one day wake up. Oh yeah, I have a new style. I'm gonna draw, and everybody's gonna go nuts for it because it doesn't work like that. There's has to be somebody
Well, and
one
that
influence
was
on.
an interesting bit too, like hearing from Otomo and Miyazaki saying,
Yeah,
basically saying like, "Oh yeah, no, we full on, we saw him and we full on ripped him off, like we
yeah,
full on." And I'm reading
yeah. Because
Nausicaa,
you have the stuff.
Right now, and seeing some of the stuff, like even just her on her glider, it's
Yeah,
so much like Arzak, you know what I mean? The
yeah,
way that she floats
exactly.
around on the thing. But I mean, just look at these details. I'll make myself big here.
Mm. Oh, lively.
It's gorgeous. Like it's just gorgeous looking stuff, but you can see Mobius all through that. Let's see if there's a panel of her flying. Yeah. I mean, there you go. Like that's our Zach. You know, that's
Yes,
it's
exactly.
just a girl on a glider as
Yeah.
opposed to some sci-fi thing, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. So it was interesting. But anyway, so yeah, very good video. Thanks for pointing that out. I've seen
yeah.
other of his stuff. It seems to be started to recommend, but I already have watched it. So there's some stuff I have seen from the guy. Not
Hmm.
many, because not all the subjects I kind of like what I'm interested in, whatever he has to say on. But when he started, because the one I was watching was from, oh my god, I have that in my brain now. I'm about to spew out the name and I'm blanking it again. Um the guy from the, oh my god, what is it, the name of it, I'm blanking the name as well. He was doing Jesus Christ, Rasa, think anyway. It'll gonna come to me. Is that animal detective dog?
Oh yeah, the black sad.
Black Sad, there you
Yeah,
go.
that's a great
Completely
that's a
out.
great video as well too.
So
Yeah.
yeah, he was that he's saying why what took him so long to become what he was now, and what why didn't he get a job. And
Hmm.
then that, and he was struggling because, and I understand that kind of clearly, if you have too many styles, you can't place your signature down into it, because there's one day
Hmm.
you feel like you're drawing this way and another, and I can understand it, because for example sometimes even myself, like I'm not doing professionally, don't get me wrong, but when I want something to draw, I sometimes feel like, what is this, where does this come from? It's like completely not my strengths or something, but I like just
Hmm.
the way it looks of it, right? So he said that he was over too realistic, or too, like the simplistic style. And then he went to Disney, and Disney's influence on his work is clearly seen, right? Because you
Hmm.
get that fluidity in your art, because they have
Oh,
to do
totally.
the motions, right? And that makes you kind of like convey a lot of lines, but minuscule lines, right? And those one liners has to help you to move the character forward, backwards, whatever, up and
Hmm.
down and stuff like that. And that basically
Hmm.
helped him also to, and he says like, it was my life-saving point, like start making the money. So I start making the point of where I can actually survive. And then suddenly, and I didn't know that it wasn't his work. I thought that's his creation. It wasn't his creation whatsoever. It was the friend who we were met together. He was asking him to do as an artist, and then he took over, which I
Yeah.
wasn't aware of that whatsoever. I thought, because you see one name on it, kind of thing, and you just point, this is the right creator of Black Sad. So yeah,
Yeah.
that was interesting. So another video
Yeah,
of
their
his.
Black Sad is so good too. Every single book is pretty great.
Mm. Have you
It's
watched
one of
any
my
Slow Horses TV show at all? Did you have a
Oh
chance?
God, no, we didn't watch much of anything. We
Oh
had
boy.
Halloween obviously,
Oh
and
yeah, yeah.
then Lillian's birthday was yesterday, so that
Wow,
usually takes up time. So yeah, no, we watched.
quite busy then.
What did I watch?
Halloween.
I
So
don't think I watched fucking anything except for a couple of YouTube things. I actually slept a hell of a lot because
that's good.
after the show was over, of course, it's what it usually happens. I got sick.
Mm.
So then
Oh wow.
kind of just I was sleeping like 10, 11 hours just from being
Uh,
wiped out for work for this chunk, right? So
that's not nice though, eh? Like it's not nice to have it, you have worked so much that it wipes you out completely, like
yeah.
seeps out everything, whatever it's possibly there for you to
Oh,
take.
that's the other thing that happened this week. We got our fucking garage got broken into. Stole our bikes, stole some of my tools,
What?
stole Lillian's electric scooter. They pry bar to pry open the man door. I'd fallen asleep on the couch actually that same night. I didn't hear a goddamn thing, but they busted in and fucking stole everything, which was a
Shit.
pain. So now we're dealing with insurance and boarding up the thing and yada yada yada. So a real
Oh,
pain in the ass. Yeah,
oh, that sucks,
super
man.
frustrating.
People are desperate. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things too. It's like, man, you're fucking stealing from working class people. It's not like we got money shooting out our ass. You know what I mean? Like,
mm.
fucking, it's just brutal. Yeah. 420 knows Winnipeg. I mean, and it's been a long time. Our area got hit a number of years ago. Like
Uh-huh.
somebody just kind of behind us, they got
Mm.
broken into in the middle of the night while they were asleep upstairs,
Mm.
busted into the kitchen. And I mean, for the bikes, I don't know. I don't necessarily know about this one for the bikes. I mean, Winnipeg, I don't know what it's like in other cities, but Winnipeg, we
Mhm.
were doing some research on it. There's 3,000 bikes reported stolen every year in Winnipeg. and that's just the ones that are reported, because the majority of people don't report it because the cops tell you the same thing. There's nothing we can do. Do you have a tracking on it? Do you have this? So like 3,000 that are reported. There was an article, I don't know how many years ago, about bikes getting stolen and put on shipping containers to send overseas. So it feels like there's a little bit of like a crime ring. But this one really felt like it really felt targeted. You know what I mean? Like because they came to ours and pried open our garage door. You know what I mean? That it really felt targeted. So you start having all these crazy thoughts in your head that are just like best left not questioned. But you start thinking, you start looking your neighbors a little funny. You start looking, who's that guy there? You come home, what's this guy doing on his bike down? You know what I mean? Like all this stupid stuff. It's not really helpful. But it really, it's super frustrating. Makes me not want to buy a bike. My wife's bike that got stolen, we bought her that for her birthday last year to replace a bike that got stolen before that from our garage.
Oh my God.
So it's like, and you think you do all these things to make it more safe, and that just turns out to be not the case, right? So
do you guys have the cameras on the property?
We don't have cameras, and we have one, like my wife's brother gave us one. I don't like cameras around. I don't particularly like being monitored. So the thing is, we were talking about it. She's like, yeah, but then we'd have an image. I'm like, an image of what? Some guy with a fucking balaclava over his face that you can't see his face? Like, what's that going to do? And then my neighbor was like, well, that stuff's a deterrent. I'm like, we've got motion sensor lights outside. There's car alarms that go off in the middle of the night. It's not a fucking deterrent anymore. Nobody pays attention to that stuff. Like, oh my God, I'm waking up from a deep sleep because someone triggered a light out in the back alley. Like, it's just not. So I just don't want to have it. I don't want to have lights, more lights and cameras and all that kind of shit. What I want is to put razor blades under the fucking door handles and sleep outside with a bat with nails on it. This is what I want to do. But again, not realistic, so. But it pisses you off, man. I was really fucking angry that day. It was really just a shit start to our morning.
I mean, naturally, everybody would be, right? Especially so close by, right?
Yeah.
Makes it, and especially if you say you were there, that's even worse. My next stop.
Bike auction in Springville. My next stop. Yeah, can't have anything too. It's true. And that's the thing. My bike I loved that bike. It was so great. Yeah. Anyway, whatever. Whatever. It's only stuff. It doesn't really matter. But it sort of does, but it doesn't,
Oh. So I was talking about Slow Horses because of the same creators created a new TV show. It's the same Apple as well. Once again, Apple TV, and it's called That Cemetery Road. It's based on the book series. It's actually based close by in Oxford, next to me, where we are. Not next to me, but fair distance away from it. But we know the area, we know this kind of the streets and stuff like that. So, and the main actress is Emma Thompson, which is kind of interesting because seeing that caliber of actress being part of the TV show, but they also have other actors and English actors as well, who is part of it, which is, it's really well made. It's only two episodes has been produced. And I find it really difficult for me and my husband to find. I can watch TV show, especially based on detective things, quite anything, right? But my husband, when we both together watch, he's quite picky, so it has to be really like well written stories and stuff like that, so for him to take notice of the series we're watching. So I said to him, do you want to watch? So we watched those first 2 episodes, and honestly, fantastic. It has we follow this girl. She's like an art preservist who is basically finds hidden art thing pieces, but that wasn't really into picture in the first 2 episodes. What was it? It was this mysterious dilapidated houses covered away, so no homeless people would go in, but somebody was sitting in there and it got exploded, and a mother and the girl was in that time an explosion happened, but the girl survived. And then we meeting this governmental bodies which trying to hide the fact, because there's this group of officials who was supposed to deal with it quietly without having any things like this happened, and that nobody can be able to knows around about. It has lots of interesting references they keep going for. There's this official. I mean, he's like one of the parliament members, and he's spewing this references like, "I'm not going, your goddamn Dorothy Perkins" or something like. So he has this references, and you're like, "This is really how people speak," but it was just in
Hmm.
English. Like, it was interesting how they put the plot line, but it's intriguing because from one little accident we found out what's the main character's situation, how she came to be there. Then the Emma Thompson's, she's supposed to be a detective who's married
Hmm.
and never, and I want to, there's a murder happens by well, not by accident, because of that situation. So it's basically cascading downwards in a really bad trajectory where
Hmm.
our characters become involved because she was curious to get a card of like a picture of children's drawing to the girl who was in the hospital because she's a surviving member, and everybody shrugged her off, and she's like, what's going on here? She's like a child in need, she doesn't have any parents, I'm just trying to give you a picture of somebody get well card made by children for her.
Hmm.
I can't enter the premises because you ignore me or you deny me that she exists. And that basically spews out information. So it's fantastic the way it goes. So I highly recommend it. I mean, I'm
Yeah,
a big
cool.
big detective watcher here, but this one
Hmm.
has elements of surprises in the way they end this a second episode. And of course, you want entice you to watch again what's going to happen next, because
You
it's
said it's
just
called Down Cemetery Road, right?
that cemetery road.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
So it just came out. So I have high hopes because Low Horses has been one of the best TV shows there is actually available for you to
Uh-huh.
watch. Because it's just really well done. They use the narrative very cleverly, makes you guess also, and you don't really know who's the bad guy, who, what, and why they're doing that kind of stuff. You're
Yeah,
only
yeah.
starting to it unravels slowly, but it also gives you hints without make you be bored. And that's the good writing about that, right? You can watch
Yeah.
lots of shows where they go around and around in the bloody circle, and then straight at the end you'll find out what's going to happen. It's like, what
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
happened? How do you come up with this?
It's so funny.
Suddenly
It's
there's
so
a
funny
solution.
hearing you say that because
Yeah.
your TV over there is like light years ahead of ours as far as
Oh, is it?
storytelling. So
Oh, you
it's
think so?
hilarious to hear you say that because I always feel like it's so concise storytelling. Like
Yeah.
every experience I have with British TV, it's
Yeah.
so fucking, 6 episodes or whatever, 8 episodes or
Yeah.
whatever it
Yeah.
happens to be, depending on what you're watching, obviously. But
Yeah.
for the most part, it's really condensed and, yeah.
There's another one, American TV show, but they have used the French writers, or I think they create their own TV series themselves. It's called High Potential.
Okay.
And the chick who is a main actress, I know Olsen, but she is the chick from Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh, right. Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
she's the one. She's the basically the main character, and she's supposed to be a cleaner with a IQ of
Yeah.
Einstein.
My
So
wife and daughter watch that. They love that show. They love it.
it's a very good show, but honestly, it's that like there is a mystery, like the second season. I think this is the second season. I
Mhm.
think it's getting a little bit more intense. Like they actually put the, because they're apparently it's very like popular right now because
Mhm.
somebody suddenly they actually managing to like get the interest going. And it's the same formula that always American TV shows have. They
Yeah.
have one fix in the one episode, which is great in some ways, especially, but then you have several episodes which the stakes are higher and stuff like that, which is what's interesting. But that's not a bad show, right? It's a really entertaining, easy to watch, and
Yeah.
it's actually quite a, like they, it seems to be they doing improvements. Whereas in the difference is where I find it myself when I watch and hear TV shows, especially detective ones, you at least have 6 episodes. You have to basically invest time into in order to you to find out really what intent of this show is and why they're
Yeah.
going for that one situation, right? Like
Mm.
Slow Horses, each season we have now fifth seasons going, I think, if I remember the number. But anyway, it's you always have 6 episodes, and then right at the end of the sixth one you start to, oh, I know what's happening now, I actually have, like, I'm clued in, kind of thing.
Mhm.
But you still have to be able to, you have to watch because there's the details they want to basically show you bit by bit. And that's
Hmm.
how it unravels. And it takes a lot of energy. Apparently, there are lots of actors interviews give us, like they saying it's like when we work, it's like you have like yourself, you don't realize what you're doing until right at the end of your
Hmm.
filming. You're like, oh, okay, I understand what's going on here. So it's kind
Yeah,
of
hilarious.
interesting how they work in that sense. So
Hmm.
yeah, I love shows like that. So yeah, there's
Yeah,
another
cool.
one which I'm really excited about. So highly
Hmm.
recommend that one.
Yeah, sweet. You want to show us what you're reading? What's up?
I haven't read many, okay,
Yeah, I
because
haven't read a ton either. So yeah.
my son has been on holiday, so that
Hmm.
uh, um, takes away a lot of it from me. I'm gonna share something you can show,
Sure.
please. Oh, yeah, there you go.
Oh yeah.
So what I was reading this one, and it's really good. It's like it's a second only issue, but if you watched Voyager, there is the way it ended. It was always has been one of the, they're saying, the worst endings, on one of the most disappointing endings for Star Trek based TV series, and
Hmm.
many of them, even the other ones with Picard, they saying the ending was kind of bleh, and this one also was because they didn't get, because you have 7 years of journey to go through the TV series, and right at the end you're supposed to get your reward with how they came back to Earth, and they are all the warriors, they have future, past, and present. That's what you want from the characters, because at the end of the day, 7 years of investment for you to understand what happened to them, and you don't really get that, right? You
Hmm.
get it in a way from the episodes prior to the end. You can, because they travel in the future and the past. That's always happens to all of the TV shows. But basically, these creators, writers, Susan Bridges and Tilly Bridges, they are basically trying to give a fans of Star Trek Voyager the ending they have deserved. So one last journey, one last
Hmm.
way of dealing with all situations, and voila, there is this reward for you guys. And it's the first, this artist, and Angel
Yeah.
Hernandez,
Yeah.
uh, her or he, Angel, can be male and female, right? I'm not sure if it's female or male, but the artist faces has improved, especially because you're using the TV show artist, so you have plenty of references, angles, and
Yeah. Right.
everything. But it's definitely improving a lot. So what's happening here? The first we what in first issue, they about to see the Earth, they're about to land. They think everything is, there's a party coming into the to board the ship, and the party boarding ship is the aliens who even Borg are afraid of, and they pretending because they're the ones who's able to pretend this is the aliens I'm showing here.
Yeah.
So they are the ones who's able to take over the skin of the humans. You can't sense anything different of them. Of course you can if you know the person, like if you're like somebody's father. And then basically what they do is they take away the ship, they completely remove the ability for them to access anything before they land to get to the Earth, and take away the ship away to the fluid space. And this is
Uh-huh.
basic aftermath of them kind of trying to take over. 709 in here is just like the Borg who nobody wants, seems to be. And the other thing, tidbit of information I don't understand, because I know I watched Voyager several times in my life by watching
Yeah.
because I'm a fan. Their daughter in Voyager was grown, but in here she's still a baby.
Right.
So
Right.
Taurus and
Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
so I don't understand how his dad comes into the last journey of it. So maybe they'll be beautifully ugly
Hmm.
aliens. Yes, already they are.
Oh, great. Hello.
But basically, what happens in these aliens they meet while they are in quadrant, whatever they were left behind, many light years away from Earth. And the way they managed to, the Voyager crew managed to defeat them is to use Borg. And Borg and humans were working together in order to
Hmm.
escape these aliens, because these aliens were feuding with Borg, but Borg themselves were afraid of it. So it's kind of this dynamic.
Crazy.
So it's still going on that part. and it's really good. It's like it almost feels like you're watching TV show. It's the way it's
I
written.
was
It's
gonna
written
say,
really
yeah,
well. It
it sounds
has
pretty good.
all elements of the characters seems to be that the ones they're speaking, like Chakotay in here is like almost like Chakotay always has been. It's like, I'm about to fight you, but then wait, there's a voice of reason in my head. Drop the guns, all good. We'll talk them through this. uh
7 of 9,
oh, there you go. You see,
the
7 of
best.
9. Yeah, so she is basically, the alien says to them, take all the humans. What they do to Tuvok is they scramble their head because he tried to meld, they're doing the melting.
Yeah,
And what happens, because he did that to Alien, they scrambled his brain, and he's starting to lose his ability to be Tuvok. He started to mumble those non-understanding words and sentences, and the only way for him to survive is he needs his family member to do the same thing to him to get his
right.
brain working, basically reboot. Switch off your brain, switch back on, wait 10 minutes, it's gonna reboot, and you're back to Tuvok. Yeah, basically that's what
Mhm,
they say.
mhm.
So it's really good. Honestly, I am kind of sad that I went digital route rather than picking up the in single format, because it seems to be
Mhm.
so far. I'm really liking it. I was looking online to see there's no everything is sold out. Of course, issue one is sold out
Yeah, of
because
course.
it
Yeah,
had enough of coverage, or maybe they didn't print that much. But honestly, so far what I'm reading, it's like, as I say, having another episode of Voyager, which is I always wanted to, because it's one of
yeah,
my favorite. Janeway has always been my captain, even though I am
yeah.
such
It's
a
so
fan
good.
of Picard and that series as well. But Janeway, she just had that knack of, like, I don't give a shit, all the priorities they were
Yeah,
giving to her, maybe because she was in different quadrants and that the rules really didn't apply in some certain ways, because their survival was what she cared for. So it's
yeah,
interesting. So the aliens have this fluid space, and Janeway goes into this bubble of, like, seems to be water, where they basically have a conversation in her brain, and that's the queen, and there's always a queen there. It's the
yeah,
aliens.
yeah.
There's the queen. So she
Yeah,
talks to
right.
this prime hierarch, almost,
Uh-huh.
so who is basically in charge. And basically what they're doing is, because what Voyager did, they're saying there's a consequences because you were working with Borg, and Borg is the enemy number one for us as well. But because you sided with them, we're gonna kill humanity. So this is what they trying to tell her. And Janeway is like, no, and she tells Torres before she goes in there, it's a computer. Find a way to get in there. And she's like, Torres, like, I've never seen this before. It's like, I don't care. Just do your job as an engineer. And she's like, oh, again, I have to do something. And yeah, and 709, she was left behind in the ship while they were taken away, and she has the baby, the Tuvok, who doesn't make sense, and herself in the ship, finding solutions. And I don't know what's going to happen next, but this was really good. It's, as I say. Oh, hello, Mr. Garage Geek.
Hello, Raj.
Yeah, so yeah, it's very good. Highly, I mean, if you're a Voyager fan, I think it's right up your alley. And as I say,
I'm a
art is
Voyager
really
fan. That's
much
for damn
more
sure.
less like staggering. It's much more fluid now. It's really good to actually
Hmm.
see it, and looks almost the same. So,
Hmm.
and they
Yeah, it looks pretty
basically,
great.
and the alien basically tells Janeway, and she's like, whatever. She's like, so Torres finds the way how to connect them. And and Jane was like, just shut it off. And she's like, but we can't go back to Earth. I don't care, shut it off. Because what she's
Hmm.
saying, I rather us perish and never came back to Earth, then the whole humanity will die. So that's, so far, that's the stakes of this comic book. So really good, fantastically
Yeah,
good,
pretty sweet.
very
I
good
mean,
read.
I might have to give that a shot. Might have to give it a shot.
Well, have a look at least. I mean, as I say, if you're a fan of the 709, or you're a fan of Voyager,
The whole
it's,
show, Voyager was one of the better. I think it was one of my favorites as well. But
yeah,
I love Deep Space Nine as well too. The other one that people always poo poo as well. The Star Trek fans, when you tell them that,
yeah. So about, so when we were like, I don't know how long ago you mentioned that, and I told you, because I'm a Star Trek fan, and I told
Yeah,
you I've never watched Deep Space Nine. It
Hmm.
was like, I don't know how long ago, maybe 8 years ago. We
That was
speaking of those
yeah,
episodes.
because
And
I was rewatching some episodes.
yes, and I said, okay, I'm gonna watch. And honestly, I think it's highly, highly underrated series because what's happening in there and what they're using as a in charge guy who was not supposed to be permanently being there. He took
Cisco,
over, yeah, Cisco, because Cisco was basically an alien entity, kind of did something to him, right? Some higher being, and then
right?
he has, yeah, he was foreseeing some sort of future and he knew
Yeah,
what
he was
to
on
do.
these
And
spiritual journeys. Yeah,
yeah, and then that, yeah, Deep Space Nine is fantastic. So what I'm also mentioning,
yeah, Earl Grey. There you go.
Yeah, poo
Voyager's
poo.
better. I mean, yeah, I don't know which one I'd say is better. I like them both equally,
Yeah,
honestly. Like
yeah,
I loved Voyager as well
mm,
too. Me and my ex-wife watched it and
mm.
just loved it. Because I agree,
So,
Janeway is a powerful. She's a very, very. She's a great actress, first of all, whatever that actress's name is. But the character is so damn good.
mhm. Mulgrew, Kate Mulgrew
Hmm.
is the
Hmm. Hmm.
actress name of the. I know that one. Some of the
Yeah,
names
yeah.
it pops me into. So Star
Hmm.
Trek, what they do now. So a new series came out, went really well with audiences. Then they suddenly Paramount doesn't want to spend that much money. Then we have this Strange New Worlds, fantastic, another by the way Star Trek series. They are kind of like they started to do what you're expecting from Star Trek shows to be like, and they doing fantastic episodes, but then they announced that it's going to end, and everybody's saying so. There's no more Star Trek anymore. You were pushing everything out, everything Star Trek. There's like 5, 4 shows. Suddenly, everything gets finished, and
Hmm.
what's next? So apparently, the Paramount's idea is to do Star Trek Academy. Is a new
Uh,
TV show they're gonna come up with, and the Doctor from your Voyager. Apparently,
yeah,
he's gonna be in there. I'm not sure how much is confirmed yet, but I heard that's what would happen. So
yeah.
but I don't know. So I think they kind of gonna concentrate on storytelling like Deep Space Nine was, right? In one place of somewhere, and they have at stakes, not like ships and flying around everywhere. But they
Yeah,
also with Strange New Worlds. So Strange New Worlds is basically what's before Picard happened, and Picard
right.
is gonna be one. So they have picked an actor now. They have a Picard, not Picard, sorry, Kirk,
Spock. Oh, Kirk.
Kirk,
Yeah.
Kirk and Spock. But
Hmm.
Kirk and Spock before Kirk and Spock was together. So it's
Right.
before. And when they're
Yeah.
gonna end Strange New Worlds, I think they're saying that that's how they're gonna maybe try to reboot that Kirk and Spock series. So I
Okay.
think that's another plan, but no, never know with the Paramount apparently because they keep on the one successful. You have the successful TV series, but they keep canceling them. So
Hmm.
it doesn't. We don't understand what's going on with anything
Yeah.
these days. Anyway, like those producers. Oh yeah, we have successful one. Okay, we don't need it anymore, right? It's like
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
where
Yeah.
you making money from then? It's just
Yeah.
like sometimes it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. I wonder how any of them are making money.
Yeah.
Cool. So I'll share this link in the chat because this is what I'll be talking about here off the top because
Utikigo
I'll
Studio.
share the screen here.
Oh, you're studying screen as well.
Share screen. So there's the bootleg Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles book has come out with issue number 2.
Bugger.
So I got it. They're going crazy with stuff. You can get signed with a sketch on it. You can get just sketch.
Oh,
You
so
can
that's
get
website.
just the regular one. So I mean, the first things last is it's not a cheap book. Like that's just the basic issue. But I'm telling you, it is so worth it because the just obvious love of all things turtles from this crew is so apparent on every single page. Layouts, the black and white you can see there. So I got the second issue in the mail, and I found a good use now for these clear backing boards. So I'll make myself big here. Found a good use for the backing board, for the clear backing boards, because this stuff always has pretty great art on the back. So that's issue number 1. So it's basically Casey Jones coming to after he doesn't know who he is, doesn't know where he is. April O'Neil is in this hospital with him. They're now in issue number 2. They've now made the escape. We get a tease of the turtles at the beginning of issue number 1, but issue number 2 focuses just on Casey Jones and April O'Neil busting out of this joint, him getting his mask back, and then the back cover there. So it's just so much fun. I would say maybe issue number 1 was a bit of a stronger issue, but this one was so. It's a thick book too. They don't skimp. It's beautifully drawn, beautifully produced. So there's that inside front cover, the homage to Frank Miller, of course, there from his Batman. And then right away, like it has the feel of the old Mirage Turtles. And it's an absolute blast. Like, look at these pages. That is 100%.
Yeah, it looks like exactly the same.
Studios, Eastman and Laird's Ninja Turtles. So this one, like I said, you basically get focused on April O'Neil and Casey, and they kind of make it to this hideout. It's not much of a spoiler. Like I said, it's a bit of a slower issue. There could have been a little bit more that happened, but the promise at the end of the issue is that not only Shredder is probably going to make an appearance in the next one, but Splinter and the Turtles will probably make an appearance. They go to the hideout into the country, and that's kind of what's coming, I think, next issue. I don't know how often these are put out. I imagine it takes them a little while. To put them together. They also had that Scream fan comic as well, too, that they put out. But like I said, I hope that this stuff is really successful for them, because that would be a great one to see if they put out some sort of collection once they get maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 issues under their belt. I think would be a blast. So if you see it, or if you have the money to spare, like I said, it ain't cheap, plus the shipping. It's worth every single penny, honestly. It really is worth every dollar that you spend, because like I said, these guys are true TMNT fans for sure. So
because I told you, and you were saying, well, what are you talking about? I was actually thinking, because it looks so real. It looked like almost the creators did it. Remember, I said to you, I don't know what is going on, and you found out that this is like bootleg. I was like, what? I didn't realize it was a bootleg, because I was so excited, because it looks exactly like what you expected to look like.
Right? Yeah, totally. Yeah.
So it was fantastic. Like, but it's like across the pond. I can't, because honestly, it will cost me.
So expensive.
I think it would cost, like, with shipping and that, it's probably at least £40. It's like, what, for one issue? It's impossible.
Yeah.
It's just
and like I said, it wasn't cheap for me. It was probably about, I don't even know how much at the end of the day, $30, something like that, easily.
Yeah.
But again, I because I don't have a huge pull list or nothing, I feel like, especially for something like that, I can justify pulling.
Honestly, if I would have been closer, and I wouldn't, the shipping would be like, that's crazy, I probably would have been also committing to that kind of stuff, because I just, it seems to be like definitely proper fanboys. I don't know how they get away with it, though.
That's the thing. I don't know how they're getting away with it either. I have no idea. So I mean, I'm hesitant sometimes to show it on screen, because I don't want these guys getting busted. But they're getting away with it somehow. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of a bit the gray area, right? Be a fanboy, and then you sell it, and how far it can go. So talking about Turtles, so I finally read the issue 12.
Nice.
So when we were talking, so on Monday I received the post. It's like, what the hell happened to the post? Anyway, so
I don't have mine here, but
yeah. So the Jason Aaron and Juan Ferreira has done the dues for 12 issues only. All this great creative team who's gonna take over the Turtles world, and they're gonna completely. Didn't work that long. Just a year. They lasted. Well, at least maybe longer than a year. But like the way they were producing this, I was like really worried and waiting for it. I knew what would happen, because they were hinting that. I don't know if they were hinting, would have showed this, what would happen and replay. But first of all, let's appreciate Juan Ferreira's art. Bloody turtle, fantasticness here. You were witnessing his art's creative. It looks like almost like the way he's some of the things looks like crayons, looks like painted, looks like digital. it looks everything, but it just looks spectacular. The pages, it seems to be the perfect artist to be on Turtles, but unfortunately, he has been taken with Jason Aaron away to DC, according to whatever I found out. So they're both gonna work for some books on DC's, and he's gonna be doing art in there. Good for artists. I mean, the any pocket, any money. So this crazy creature we're seeing in here is the bad guy of the series. It was the district attorney, right? He was, or
Yeah.
so who Mr. Hale, who was in basically hating mutants so
Was it the DA
badly.
or was he the mayor? I can't remember now.
I mean, this was like a yeah, maybe some yeah, maybe we were. I mean, he was the uh, he was working in
Or did
courts,
he
but
used to
then
be the DA and then was the mayor or
yeah,
something like that? Yeah.
yeah, he gained more power. He wanted to take New York completely because his hatred for mutants, and he didn't like because he has this obsession, unhealthy obsession with it. And the turtles were in court in the previous issue, where they basically were accused of all the sorts of nonsense what he actually been doing with other things, and he's been made into this creature by none other but her. Keep on forgetting her name, but she's a family member of Shredder.
Yeah.
She's a I think
Daughter or something? Yeah.
granddaughter. I think she's a
Granddaughter.
granddaughter. Yeah. So, and basically, when he interrupted her, she turned him into this because she's basically playing with afterlife, because he's been hinting that quite a while in all these issues prior to that, because she was in this big great hole doors behind where nobody was able to disturb her. And then we find out what happens, and the like Splinter and all that stuff situation where the turtles comes in, and it's like, I absolutely love this when
Yeah.
you do it correctly, when everything just pans out so well. It looks spectacular. It's just a black, there's nothing else,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
There's no other hints and stuff like that, but it really works. And I, of course, absolutely love this page because of Splinters and like going into these things. But spoiler alert, people. I'm gonna say it anyway. Too bad for you. Don't listen. Shut your ears if you don't want
Yeah.
to. But Splinter is back, right? Is he
Yeah. I
back or
mean,
is he
no,
not
no
back?
surprise to anybody, I think, right?
Yeah, but it was about like it's been a long ass time since he was dead for long. So we have this
Yeah.
splash page and this. I haven't even read this one, but this is, I'm not sure what they're saying here. Are they saying that there's new creators cooking up the new series and stuff? But I mean, for 12 issues, first 4 issues, I would skip it if you are a reader of the Turtles for sure, and read from issue 5 onwards. Then it's really good. I think Jason Aaron could have taken those Turtles
Yeah.
in
It
a
definitely got better.
really different directions, and I think he's more than capable of using stuff like characters like these. But I don't know what happened, and he didn't want to do it anymore, and he's been bought over by DC or what happens in there, but he's no more. We have a new creator team, but from issue 13, when is it gonna come out? Is it gonna come out before the new year?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm really not sure when.
It
I'm hoping
doesn't,
before the end of the year.
because that would be a great way to start in the new year. Start with an issue before that, make you excited. Next January, okay, go and kind of freshen up with the stories.
I haven't read
Well,
it yet, but there was an annual that came out.
oh, I don't pick annuals.
Special. Yeah, I didn't. I haven't read it yet, but I picked it up. I got
785.
excited because when I saw the new cover, I'm like, oh shit, here's the new issue, but it wasn't. So it's just a one
Oh.
shot. But I haven't read it yet.
So Gene and Freddy is the creators' names, and the new chapter begins December 2025.
Oh, there you go. Perfect.
Yeah. Ujigami is the name of the new
Yeah.
issue will be called. But anyway, so as long as I'm worried now because when start creators just dropping over, and this needs to go continue for a very long time, like the previous run of the original creators were going for.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they can find people. Maybe I'm not sure how this is not selling. How this is not selling, and because I think it always goes out of the shelves and you never find back issues. That's why I always have in singles. Of course, collected editions are great, but IW schedule apparently seems to be we're going like a roller coaster. One time it's coming out, one time it doesn't come out. They're quite behind from the what's in the issue in single issue format. So I know they were announcing, oh, this is like a first volume of this new turtle run. They already announced how the cover gonna look like, hardcover, blah blah blah. But it's supposed to be 2 volumes apparently. They were forecasting it already, pre-planning 2 volumes, but it's gonna end up just being one because he's gone. Bye bye, poo poo. See you later.
Yeah. I mean, one of the reasons they probably don't make much money is because they do fucking 9 million goddamn covers for these things. Like when you look through CLZ to add the new issue to my CLZ, I have to scroll just to get past the amount of variants for issue number 1 before you get to the rest of them. Like it's out of fucking control.
Yeah, they do quite a lot of that kind of crap.
Yeah, they do it way too much. It's an old man complaint that it's not a surprise. It's not news to anybody. So I'll stop and I'll instead talk about Jackman and Mott's The Killer, Affairs of the State, Book 2. So issue number 5 just came out. Issue number 4 was a little bit of half of the book was kind of a minor misstep. And then it really picked up the last kind of half of the book. And this one is back to this has my attention for every single goddamn panel. Out of all, I've been following The Killer and reading The Killer since its beginnings. This is far and away the best volume of all of the Killer books that I've read. And then at the end of this one, I won't give you any spoilers. So the end of the last issue ended with a big massacre. He saves this little girl who this little girl and her brother had come to his house in one of the earlier issues, running from people in the other house. The boy ends up dying. She ends up getting dragged into a world that feels, they never say it explicitly, but that feels very child prostitute-ish.
Oh my.
So he's on an assignment to kill a guy. And she pops up, so he ends up losing it and just fucking annihilates everybody, shoots everybody to save her. So this issue is back to it's a lot of internal dialogue matched with the scenes and stuff, and then kind of the stuff that he's saying out loud versus the conversation he's having in his head. And I've said it before, but I think that's what this book has always done really good with that, like really well with the kind of internal monologue versus how he's kind of appearing to the rest of the world. And sometimes it's in his internal dialogue is very bleak, but his outward manner isn't as much. And then sometimes it's the total opposite, where his outworld is just so fucking bleak, you know. It's such an intriguing book. This one ratchets it up with this kind of group that's been hiring him to do these more political hits and stuff. So now it's come to a point where he doesn't know that his kind of handler, this woman who's his handler, he doesn't know if he can trust her. And at the end, we kind of get a nice little twist with her too, that I'm not sure where it's going to go. It hints at something, but you could read it in a million different ways, which is also what's so good about it. It's such a goddamn good book. I feel like it's one of those though that, yes, sure, you could read Affairs of the State 1 and 2 and get something from it, but I think this book really, it's one of those that when you followed the character for so long, it's like watching a long-running TV show. You now know the character a little more, and then you're met with this story where things just kind of twist. It's so good. It's easily one of my favorites of the year so far. This is going to be top of the list for me.
Awesome.
Hello, Paulo Costa.
So
easily one of the tops.
Can you remind me more about this? Because this is ongoing for quite some time, right? As a comic as well, right?
A long time. I don't even know. Maybe Paulo will know. I don't even know when the Killer comic started. Let's see if we can do a search.
Is it like a European first and then translated?
Yeah.
It is.
I don't know if it's. I think it's European first. The Killer Volume 1 goes, 2009.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so French comic book by writer Mats and artist Luc Jacquemin. Yeah, so 2009 is when the collection for the first volume came out. So a little bit before that, I guess, for the original.
Uh-huh. That's interesting.
It's great, and they take quite a long breaks in between, but every time it's one of those books that jumps out off the shelf. I never know when it's coming. I just know when I see it because it's there on the shelf and catches my eye. So such a strong series, man.
Because I think I always get really piqued and interest, but then it's like you don't mentioning for a while, and my piqued interest goes away with it as well, and then you show it again. Because when you show the panels, you can clearly see it's not formatted for the American, because it looks like it's supposed to be
Yeah,
bigger,
right.
and
Yeah.
it's just too much gap of whiteness in the pages, like missed
Yeah, exactly.
spaces and stuff like that, which is kind of sad,
Yeah.
especially when it is, but not everybody, but it's kind of interesting that Boom is actually doing that, because Boom is not known for
Yeah,
using
I mean,
some
well,
European stuff.
it was always
Ikea.
Archaea, but
Okay.
I don't know, was Archaea always a subsidiary of Boom, or did Boom buy them out recently or something?
I think Ikea was one before alone, and then the Boom took over, I think.
Yeah,
They
so because
all
when it
merged
started,
together
it
in
was
order
just
to
Archaea.
basically survive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
And
Because
it's
Ikea.
also one of those books, like the early days of Criminal, when I first discovered Criminal. I'm not super crazy about the art. Like, the art is good. I read the book, I love the book, but it's not art that completely draws me in there. There's the names there, Paulo. Hopefully that's focused and you can see that there. But it's one of those that the style fits the book so well at this point that I love it, and I mean, shit, man, you have show me covers like that, Blood Trail in the Snow, and I'm sold. And yeah, so such a good book.
Oh.
Every time I read an issue, I circle it in my book that I do. I always do. I sort of give myself some heads up. Whoop! What did I knock over? I give myself some heads up, so when I'm flipping through, the stuff that I've circled in my little book are ones that I've loved throughout the year, right? So I usually circle them to make sure when I'm flipping back and doing my kind of best of list, they jump out at me a little more.
I see. That's a good way of knowing, because you forget, right?
Yeah, I totally. You always end up forgetting.
Well, not that much left. Did you? Okay, first of all, maybe we should go for. Did you read it?
Have I read the whole thing? No.
Yeah.
But I've read about what page am I on? I'm on page 242. Did you read the whole thing? Oh shit! Oh wow!
I went. So I started it quite a long time ago. So I had a bit of it done, and I put it. You put it away, you get distracted by everything, beautiful things, right? But then you mentioned it, and it's like, oh yeah, what the hell I'm doing this, so I sat down. It goes, right? I don't know how you
really
are,
does.
but it does. It's interesting. So we finally found out why is it still called Kamui, right?
Yep.
Legend Kamui. I think it's all now with the. Did you get to that part when you didn't probably? He's mentioning the white wolves again. In it.
That's the chapter I'm just about to start. I'm just about to start it. So that's where I left off. I got the bookmark there ready to go.
There's this white wolf it's coming back from volume 1 to this volume 2.
Yeah.
And there's lots of, actually quite a big chapter for those wolves to give, and which is one of my favorite things in the volume 1, was because the scenery and the animals and how important the cycle of things going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's gives, after the things what happens to Kamui, we have a Kamui again, and then we found out that it's his sibling, right? His brother.
I mean, I think we can spoil it. Kamui dies at the end of book 1.
Oh yeah, okay. I didn't want it to go that crazy, but yeah. Yes.
Original series. So for a killer, sorry, Rasa. Yes, original series from 1998 to 2014. 10 albums. Affairs of State is a soft reboot. 6 albums so far. Oh wow. Well, shit. 6 albums. That's exciting. Anyway, carry on.
Okay. So his head gets chopped off because there seems to be, no matter who's coming from this family, they're very strong-headed, but head kids, right?
Yeah.
Even his sibling who looks exactly almost to a T like Kamui, which is very confusing for the readers.
Yep.
is that he is also, but and he also has kind of like different perspective towards what happened to the first Kamui, due to reason is that one went forward and he played with fire so many times that at the end of the day he got what it comes for him, kind of thing, because of the era of the time. This books is starting the feudal Japan, what, 1600s or 1500s do you think he's covering?
I don't remember. I
I
don't
know that
remember
he's
the time
mentioning
period of this one.
1600s afterwards in here, but then,
Right.
but it's not like really kind of like, it's the times where a class of importance in Japan was eminent, and whatever you were born into, you couldn't change it.
Yeah.
You weren't allowed to become clever. You're not allowed to be studying anything. You're not allowed to read or write, if especially if you're lower class, especially not talking the outcast. Outcast is the trash of the people, right?
The
But you
lowest of
have,
the low. Yeah,
yeah,
totally.
the lowest of the low, and then you have, which is what Kamui is, lowest of the low. He's not supposed to be a samurai. He's not supposed to wielding anything. He's supposed to be just accepting what is given to him, what's left or what's not left for them, basically. Because, like he says, like scum of the earth, not supposed to be anything, right? And then you have farmers, which you would think that farmers would be quite eminent part because they make the food and they're in charge of that kind of thing, but they aren't at all, almost, well, just before that. And so basically his brother, who's basically want to take on Reg, is that Donald Rex? He's changed his name.
Yes, it is. That's I
Yeah.
believe that's Donald Rex. Yes, I believe
Yeah.
so.
Anyway, so he also has this, like, I want to be the strongest person in the world, blah blah blah, and he has the same ideas of what Kamui, the first Kamui, had, but he seems to be a bit more clever. He has a bit more wit to him. He has a
Hmm.
bit more, he's still hot-headed because he wants to be the greatest fighter, the strongest fighter in Japan ever.
Yeah, he's got drive. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
he has a drive where he doesn't know, but he's actually, I think he has a luck on his side as well, because when he's meeting the right people, or maybe people noticing the family members because of the first one and the legends, that's how the legend starts, right?
This guy for sure is definitely like a protector of him. This
Yeah,
ninja.
so this is the ninja clan, which is basically got a sight of him and they want his abilities. He's the knack
Mhm.
of wanting to learn, and they appreciate that kind of thing. So the hierarchy sense of it, there's lots of more understanding in this volume, where actually a lots of other characters have a shine light on them in this book. So you're basically having not only concentrating on Kamui or on animals, now you're concentrating Kamui sibling Kamui, and then you have other like a farmer Shosuke. He's going to be very permanent character in
Yeah,
here. So he's the one who's a farmer, also not allowed to read or write on purpose because they paying the taxes and they have one person who represents them, and the person is the only one who knows how to read and write. So whatever he says they have to pay, they pay because they don't
yeah,
understand it, right?
yeah,
So that's kind of, like if you are high above everything else, it's sorted for you, right? But you get,
yeah,
of course, all this feuding and all that stuff, but everybody else dies, not you. And then you have these characters coming and becoming more prominent in the series, because I think they're gonna kind of interact with each other. There's lots of things going on in here with another villagers who basically got this uprising going on,
yeah.
and that
There's
uprising changes
there's
a
so
lot of
many
perspectives.
side characters in this one.
Yeah,
That's been the tough part for me so far, is
yeah.
kind of keeping track of all these side characters they're introducing, right?
So
There's two of them that look so much alike. One
yeah,
of them wears a black kimono and one of them wears a white one, and that's
yeah,
the only thing that I get them confused every single time that I'm reading it.
yeah,
So that was the only thing, and there's so many more characters coming in.
yeah. The good thing, you have references for the characters
Yep.
and the names. So Kusaka Ryoshin, that's the black wearing guy. He's gonna be very much involved in him.
Hmm.
There is where is this guy? Ikeke. Where is Ikeke? Oh, this one almost looks the same as this guy as well. His name
Yeah,
is
and then the guy beside him too on the
yeah,
on the left, they look the same. Those are the two I always confuse.
Sasa Ikaku is former fencing instructor turned running. So he's gonna be is quite prominent in here also. There's lots
Yeah.
of them. There's Kokemaru, this guy here. So his village is going to be a lot of mentioning of him.
Yeah.
Kamui had a disciple. His life didn't pan out really well, and not very long, for not
No.
a long time. And
Well, and
that's
he's
what
not
happened.
very smart either. When
Well,
he's going and trying to, like, I was just flipping as you're
yeah,
talking, kind of refreshing
yeah,
my memory. When he's
yeah,
going
yeah,
and trying to kill the bear, and they're basically poaching off of they're
yeah.
poaching from the royalties
Yeah.
land,
Well,
basically.
all of them have all the royalties have their own patch of land, right? Or the lots of
Yeah.
like acreages, and all of them have all these classes of people under them, right? And they have territories, because all there's animals, there's food around, right? So if you are
Hmm.
under the lowest of the lowest, you can't go hunting for anything, because you're probably in the territory where you don't belong.
Yeah.
Animals don't stay in the same locations, right? They shift with seasons. Then the winter happens, they move away. So the scarceness of food and that kind of things, and the way it's just shown is just like, no wonder you have kids like that who has a bit more brains above their head, not wanting to become just a use tool for for big cheeses, right?
Yeah.
Because they become like, okay, I need something from this. Like, this guy has only need for become the strongest one, and the only he wants to do is fighting every single day, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
He
Yeah. Yeah.
fights like, no matter he goes somewhere, he goes like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be like, I'm showing you my skills. And the one thing what really helps them, that him in particularly, he's working with the like wild animals. So he was in order to learn, he goes into
That's right. The dogs. Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
the wild dogs, to defeat wild dogs in order to basically gain some skills. And he's
Yeah.
outnumbered, right? He only has a katana and himself, and nothing wearing for garbs, as you can clearly see in this picture. And there's just like 10 dogs surrounding him, and he's like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna learn something from this. And he somehow survives. Oh, he's like, oh, I have a luck behind me. He managed to leap from like mountains, because he's like really fearless, right? He doesn't understand. It kind of understands. He gets beaten, he gets like, there's lots of things happens to him. There's a moment in this one where I was like, oh no, don't do this the same to this to this Kamui, what
Hmm.
happens to the first one. So it kind of towards the last one, this is much thicker, the first one, right? Or am I
I
going
mean, no, it's about the same.
above
I don't
you,
know where I'm
above
talking.
you,
My other one. Oh,
above
my other
above you.
one's up here. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, it's about the same.
is
I
that
think, as far as thickness.
is it 600 something?
Oh yeah. No, it's the same.
Yeah,
What's the
okay,
page count in it?
600 something. Yeah, 633.
Oh, this okay. So then it is a big more. This one is 604 pages, so a little bit
Maybe.
thicker for sure.
But
Just wanted to
so
show you one of my favorite
yeah,
illustrations.
yeah,
His style is beautiful. Like you were saying,
yeah.
there's something about the nature stuff, but then there's these moments sometimes too, like
Mhm.
this face here
Yeah.
really struck me. That's such an amazing,
Mhm.
minimal, beautiful lines on that face, really, really good. It's such a good goddamn story. I was reading it just before the stream, actually. I was sitting and reading it.
This one is also the animal part. He's actually putting them into forefront, because it's basically kind of tries to explain to you how it was. So the pup, the white wolf we're talking about, so he is all white, which is not good for him. He stands out because he can't hide when he's hunting. He cannot be part of the pack, because pack is black and he couldn't do this. So
Yeah.
he had the first volume, we found out more about this. And in this one, when he was speaking to him, his survival has heightened, right? Because he's a loner. He's supposed to be part of a pack, but he cannot be part of a pack. It's almost kind of hinting what Kamui is all about, right?
Totally. Yeah, absolutely.
So
Even
he,
though there was writings from him in that first volume saying that they're
Mhm.
not supposed to be part of the same story. I'm not trying to say that the humans are from the animal kingdom. It's like,
yeah,
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 yeah.
right.
So yeah, it also is like, what good about this one is that it gives them the limelight. Still, it kind of makes it
Yeah,
more kind of in basic way to understand how that momentum of survival needs to happen. Like, one wolf cannot survive because there's a packs, and territories are also divided, right? You can't go in one territory to hunt because there's somebody there who gets the stake of the land, right? That's all the animals belongs to them. It's almost similar to what was happening in feudal Japan when people were actually humans were trying to survive each other. The one thing really intriguing for me is that he also gives the limelight, as I say, to other characters, which is really helps the story move forward, because you can't just continue to be one. He kind of gives a lot of time to a lot of other characters. It is quite a lot to remember, to follow, especially kind of like we say, the one thing you can actually notice a lot of is the kind of they look all to the same kind of they look, especially those grown samurais. The child, funny enough, the children in this book is much more easier to differentiate, especially the main character children, than the adult ones. So I don't know, because when you show me, I remember recalling when you were showing this art of Kamui, it's completely different to what we see now.
It changes for sure.
So it's kind of evolvedness, and I think when we were talking about that Mobius, that episode of that video of Mobius, they were saying that this is the era where manga was simplistic. Really, it wasn't that motion, crazy paneling, the movements and all that stuff. This is what was before. It's one of the
So this one is originally the 60s from that Darrow magazine. So
before the era of what, 80s or 90s, which when Akira came out.
When, sorry, what?
Akira came out in 80s.
That's got to be 80s, late 80s. I want to guess.
Or just beginning of it. Yeah, doesn't matter. So anyway, so you can see that, you can sense, basically will tell you this is what kind of style of manga it was popular in that time, and he was doing the same thing. It's fantastic. There's lots of scenes where Shosuke, there's one of the guy who is basically can be really much in trouble, because what he does, he got in trouble for sure because they found out that he can actually read and write. So he manipulated his own superior to keep him alive, because basically he will tell on him, and that what he's actually doing and how he's basically skimming away to his own pocket, which is that's bad for him either, because there's a people behind, like above him, right, who is in charge of him as well. So it's lots of interesting things going on. There's also this hunter, one-eyed hunter. He's going for a white wolf because he's white. And he's absolutely fascinated because he was basically trailing him away, looking how he's doing stuff in situations. And he's like fascinated. How is the wolf like that can actually survive? And he's becoming like, he's trying to hunt him, but the wolf is too smart for him also. So there's lots of things. And also what it helps as well in this book, that he writes up. So he kind of like gives you a break between the stories and explains to you what you just read, and it tells you what's more moving forward, which is honestly why it's helping a lot, because there's lots of characters involved to tell the story of Kamui.
Yeah, it's almost like his little bit of narration to the reader sometimes. Yeah,
exactly. And then also why it's becoming a legend, and who is like, the word is spreading, right? There's only a couple of territories at the beginning of First War, and now there's way more territories are talking about this kid who is known as a speedster now, apparently. And the way it ends in here, it shows a little bit, but it shows those even more prominent skills he's going to gain because of those monk ninjas who's basically taking under him, and they basically protect him completely, so they won't be able to kill him as quickly and stuff like that. So yeah, it's very good. As I say, I read it through. I could not believe this is going. Oh, it's expected in January.
So yeah, January 13th for volume 3. Like I think we've talked about it before, 10 volumes is what there's going to be. 2 a year is what they want to do. So 4 more years to go before we get the full epic. And even just looking at some of the sampled pages from here, it's still not the era that Eclipse did. So we're still a ways away from that. I don't know how far away, but we're definitely not there yet. But
the kid though,
I'm loving this. Like you were saying, it's one of those things that even when it was a little difficult to kind of keep track of, it's still really engaging. I mean, it reads like most manga does. It's pretty quick to read, but it's such a joy. And then January, February, March, April, May, June, just so July 7th for
Wow.
volume 4 is what they're saying for Drawn and Quarterly. I mean, I think that the first two were late, but there's the rough timeline anyway. And again, for volume 4, still not the era that Eclipse did,
Mm.
but it looks like it's getting a little closer. It's getting closer to that
Yeah.
anyway. So we'll
I
see.
don't. I honestly.
It's so enjoyable.
I don't. I don't. I like the art style. I'm now two
Yep,
volumes in. Jesus, this is heavy to actually even for manga. It's a big
it's
one.
heavy. Yeah.
It's a chunker. For me, first of all, it's achievement already 2 mangas to read. I actually get still confused by the way the reading
Mm,
because there's some certain ways you have to read. Now I notice even more because I
yep.
like I get more invested. I understand most of the storytelling, right? But there's some certain I can't. Of course, I'm not going to be able to find. Oh yeah, prime example. So this panel, this page in here. So
Yep.
because you read from here downways,
Yep.
you read this one, then you have to wait. You have to go this way. Then you have to go this way and down.
Yeah.
And I did not. It's like this is helps because this panel is very long, so it does actually makes more sense. But there are some sections where it's divided in three, and God forbid I was like reading it doesn't make sense. I go back. I like my eyes go back. No, I can't find the examples, but this is just like really cool stuff. And
I
then
found that sometimes with the speech bubbles in some of the panels too, where the writing isn't always necessarily like
yeah,
one person talks, one person responds, and next
yeah.
person responds. It's not necessarily in that layout. Sometimes it's people
Mm,
speaking at the same time. Where I
yeah.
did find it a bit confusing. Like, am I reading this properly? Am I reading this the right way?
And this is when Shosuke got in really big trouble because they found that this boss of theirs found out that he can read. And
Mm,
right, what they're trying to basically find out of him is that who is the ones teaching you. And he was really strong and persevered quite a lot. And then his father got involved because they thought that if they're gonna convince the father to basically be there and basically get him to be like taking his finger away, he will tell all, but he didn't. The father actually took his own finger in order to
hmm.
make the point of it. Like there is this panel here where he takes the
Yeah, right.
finger and chops this finger. I don't know if you
Hmm.
can really see it, but this is the panel that is like the finger goes. It's really nice the way he does this, even the smallest panels in the world, but you can like clearly see the details really. He's black and white like this this panel here really fantastic, made me giggle. He's
Hmm.
chomping on the wood because he's so angry. He doesn't know where to put his anger away, so he chomps on the pillar of the wood. It's like I say, it's kind of for me. It's fascinating that I even
Yeah.
go through it. But the more I reading, the more at the beginning, like because there was a confusion to understand why Kamui is back, right? Then you start understanding this kid a little bit more because he's giving him to telling the story, how is everything happening. He's still kind of like really siblings are the same, kind of comes from family. They're also his father who's outcast chief. They even have chiefs on outcasts. So they also explain some certain rules he has to follow. He can't say no to them. It's the same thing what happened with those ninjas. So ninja, no, Kamui's father is not outcast chief, but there's a chief of outcasts who's Kamui has to basically also follow through, and he's been they were looking for him. But that's why the ninjas kind of saved him. They gave him a piece of paper to the chief of outcast saying, this is it, you can't touch anybody, you listen to what we say, you leave him
Hmm.
alone, or otherwise you'll be in trouble. So and he
Hmm.
just basically goes away, he just doesn't do anything, so basically survives, makes him survive the troubles. So it's nice to see that he has some backing now, and those ninjas, the way they use everything so secretively, so
Yeah.
quickly, and all the explanation of those shooting whatever weapons they
Yeah.
use.
Shuriken or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, Shiroken, exactly. So you learn that. And it's also learning some other things. He kind of explains also, I wish people wouldn't be this way, even from that era, how they had to go through, like through the years and ages. That to this day we have humans like that who is basically abusing each other, each
Right.
whoever.
Yeah.
and the class thing becoming more and more prominent lately in this day and age as well. So it's kind of like we're reverting. We don't go forward. We never
Yeah.
move forward to past something what it was before. We keep on going back and looking back into this. So it's kind of interesting that he touches upon this in this book in here. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So far intrigued, but now 10 volumes you say.
10 volumes. Yeah, I mean, it's going to take up a one whole bookshelf. You know, going to
I
have
don't
to
know if
find
I have.
somewhere to put them.
I
Because
don't know
right now I
how.
just leave them stacked up on top of there.
Yeah, I don't have space for this as well.
No, either do I. Yeah.
I said to
I sure
myself,
don't have space for 8 more of them, let alone just 2 of them.
yeah, I have this one is not enough for me to put anything anymore. There's no
Mhm.
space for anything, so I was already thinking about something different. But this kind of stuff is kind of big, eh? Like they are big.
Yeah.
That's a lot
But it's
of.
so good though. It's so goddamn enjoyable. Like it's really I'm excited. I'm very excited.
For manga, for
Um,
manga, I'm
those are
getting
fucking
into it.
beefy, just the 2 of them.
Yeah, I told you it's big.
Yeah, it's crazy.
They are big.
How many graphic novels is that? I don't even know, like thickness wise.
Well, it's like we're reading some of our omnibus worth of material, basically.
Yeah.
Because some omnibuses usually have, well, not all of them. Let me see what that vampire omnibus, which I haven't yet finished because Kamui took over. 700 pages.
Mm.
Omnibuy. Like, wait.
Mhm.
This Wolf Tomb of Dracula is 767 pages.
Yeah.
Not
So 100 pages more. Crazy.
Yeah. So this is the basically mini omnibuy by
Yeah.
Shirato Sanpei work
Yeah.
we're following. And you get me into it. I can't believe you managed
It's
me.
classic.
How did you manage to
And
convince me?
how many pages is this one? Well, I mean, I don't know if it took much convincing. It was yeah, this one's 856 pages, this Rachel Rising.
Yeah, that's that's
like so I'm reading this. I'm reading this. I'm reading Kamui. I'm reading these hefty fucking books all of a sudden, like gigantic volumes of stuff. Before I talk about Rachel Rising, I just wanted to show you the big score from the week, which I'm so excited to get my hands on. Do you think you'll want to reread them? I mean, you could say that about any of the books that are sitting on the shelf. Like most of my books, I haven't reread. Like, yeah, I mean, I look around. There's some that I've reread for sure. The Scoiton stuff. Speaking of Earl Grey in the Room, I've reread that stuff multiple times. But there's the vast majority of the books I have on these shelves I've never reread. But you sort of whittle away the ones that you don't. And then ones that maybe don't have, like there's the stuff on my shelves now. It's really hard to look at the shelves and go, yeah, that can go. I'm at a point where everything must stay is how it feels. So the score of this week was not 1, not 2, but all 12 of Charles Burns's Black Hole series from Fantagraphics. The guy at Galaxy Comics, he had a bunch of 90s independent stuff come in, and I put aside a bunch of things. I got a bunch of Love and Rockets volumes, actually magazines. They weren't all first printings. Most of them were like second printings, but still having the originals in the magazine size is pretty great. I think I've got like the first 10 now in magazine size. This one just got picked up. He finally said yes to somebody to do a movie adaptation of Black Hole. There's a movie that my son and his partner are really, really into. I think it's called The TV Glows, or When the TV Glows, or something like that. But the woman who directed that movie has talked to Charles Burns, and Charles Burns has given her permission to do a feature based on Black Hole. So I figured that announcement coming so soon, I better get my hands on these books before they skyrocket. They weren't cheap for all 12.
I've never seen them.
Got them. Sorry.
I've never seen them. I've never seen covers.
It's great. I have the hardcover collection that I've had for a long, long time. I lent it to my son because he loves, like I said, he loves that director. So I wanted him to read the book first before the movie comes out. It hasn't even started shooting yet. I'll open one of them up in a second here. I'll just show you the covers. So Charles Burns, one of those guys, he had a new book out this year called Final Cut. I saw it at the bookstore today, and I almost bought it, but I wanted to get that out of Alcatraz instead. It's a great series. Teenagers, growing pains, body anxiety, you know, all sorts of things that he's kind of uncovering and digging into here. Kind of horror-based for sure. But his style is exceptional, and I can't wait to sit and reread this. It's been a long time since speaking of rereading stuff, Donald, this is a book that I will gladly reread. I've read it a couple of times already, but I'm so excited to read it in single issue format. Just the inside front covers. I mean, look at this beautiful, you know, so every single issue, we're going to get all this extra stuff. I think this is probably one from Fantagraphics where there isn't any other ads or anything in this. It's just Charles Burns from cover to cover. I'll just give you a sample of some of the pages, but his very, very bold black and white style, right? Like that's kind of what he's known for. You go.
The Inca's Heaven.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. And then we'll go kind of to the back to see if there is any, because I haven't looked through these single issues yet. No, there's nothing. There's nothing as far as like ads for Fantagraphics or something in this. You get to the back inside cover, and it's just more of the same from the front inside. So this is going to be amazing. So this is, like I said, Fantagraphics from, when did this first come out? Let's see. 1995 is when issue number 1 came out. So I bought them new, but let them get away. Oh yeah, that's too bad. See, and that's the thing, right? Like with some of the stuff, even if you're not going to reread it, it's just some of these things feel like classics. And I think this Black Hole feels kind of like one of those classic 90s independent books, right? So
yeah, because you mentioned last week that you said you're going to get those. So you basically end up going and getting them.
I had to. Yeah, I figured I didn't want to, because one of the worries was that, because that announcement just came like a week or so ago. So I thought that might have an effect. He's a really good guy. So the price didn't change. I don't know if he knew about the announcement. We ended up talking about other things, actually. I always sit and chat with him for a little bit when I get in there. He's a super, super good dude. Jeremy is his name at Galaxy Comics. So I was worried that it would start to skyrocket and then it would be well out of my price range. So I figured I should get them. He was nice enough to hold them for me. I figure also I kind of owe it to him to buy the books from him. So I'm so glad I got them.
Interesting that this kind of stuff, it still pops up, you know, like things like, you know, like you wouldn't, because I'd never seen them comic book format. I've seen them collected. I've read, I couldn't read through, by the way, Black Hole. I found it too much for me, too much teenage angst in the series. In that time, I wasn't still really too much open to the underground or that kind of era of storytelling. I was a bit more wanting relaxed reading, you know, but I was discovering. So probably I guess I could go back and read it, but I remember clearly my mood wasn't picked at the right time. And I was like, this is too much for me. I'm gonna it's almost suicidal thoughts after a couple of things I was reading, because it was going dark in that place. No wonder it's called Black Hole. Art wise, it's spectacular to look at, like when it's black and white. But I never seen them in any ever. I mean, being books.
I have doubles of only two of the issues that I bought throughout the years. But you never. It's one of those books like I just never see the
gorgeous
single
covers,
issue.
by the way.
Never. What's that?
They must have. Gorgeous covers. The old covers, it looks like a standout. So it probably would pop straight away on the shelves, right?
Even the title, like even the title treatment, he does it differently for every single issue. The lettering is different for Black Hole on every single issue, which is also super cool. Like such a, you know, it's his book, clearly his book, you know, coming from his mind. So speaking of mega tomes. 327 pages in on Rachel Rising. And just to kind of jog your memory as far as timeline, the last thing that I read here was the demon has taken over the priest and killed the other priest and tossed him down the stairs. And has Zoe is her name, right? Asleep upstairs, right? So that's kind of the last thing that I read.
Mhm.
And again, it's another one of those, like, I don't know how many, I probably read at least 100 pages in one sitting, because you
It
just kind
goes,
of get
yeah,
into it and it
yeah.
goes, and it's still, I'm not saying anything that anybody hasn't said a million times. It's so fucking good. It is so goddamn good. Like,
Perfect timing
the
for the
single
Halloween, you know.
character is great. It's so great.
Yeah, it's a good Halloween read. I think now you could definitely like recommend it because of the, the devils, the resurrections,
Devils and the
the,
witches.
yeah. You know what? The one thing I forgot, when Jet gets into accident and she dies,
Yep.
I didn't realize she actually died as well with Rachel, because I
Yep.
only thought for beginning I thought Rachel's only one. Like that's how, because she's the main character maybe. But Jet has always been quite a vital part of the storytelling anyway because of
Yeah.
the friends, right? And then how she's on the slab, and then that big guy who's absolutely besotted by her is working on the table. That's
Absolutely in love with her.
yeah, he's
Such a great
absolutely,
character. You
yeah, and
feel
he's
so much for him. It's like, this dude is so madly in love with this woman, and
and she's
his
not.
touch is the only thing that'll keep her heart beating and stuff.
Yeah,
And
and then she feels it,
it's
right?
so fucking good.
Yeah, yeah, because he touches her and she only feels him then, so she actually
Yeah.
knows that she has limbs and things, and like it's actually working. So it's actually quite a good moment on that series. But so did you realize about that? Basically, is it unraveling the story? Right? I think it's with that
It's
priest, right?
unraveling. You're like, yeah, I mean, we know the backstory of the witches and stuff. We know kind of what's
Yeah,
happened to them. We know what's coming. These rats have now been unleashed as well too. So Zoe was sitting there killing rats as they were coming out of the sewer. So it feels like it's taken the next step.
yeah,
One of the girls, was it Jet, had the demon kind of inside her, and
yeah.
then he ends up kind of killing, like, she commits suicide, or the demon forces her to commit suicide, and that's when he goes into the body of the priest, and
Well, because
poor
he jumps
Zoe can't get
from,
away, and yeah.
yeah, because I think he's going after Zoe, or Zoe is the one. No,
He
she
wants
is
to
the,
bring her. He wants to bring her in,
yeah,
basically. Like, he's like,
yeah.
we're the same. We're one and the same. You need to come and rule with me, kind of deal,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
So
She's the bride of the devil, right, or
yeah,
something.
yeah,
This like, and she's like in the more uncomfortable part of it. She's like in the child's body, and she's like what 7, 8, 10, 10 max, right?
yeah, yeah,
Age. And they talking about the bride, and she's like ew, and she keeps on even saying that the same. It's like you bloody old dude. I don't want anything to
yeah.
deal with. And then after a while in the storyline, I think she realizes like shit, I'm never gonna be like of age, right? She's just gonna
Mhm.
continue being with 10-year-old because she has
Yeah,
this
that's right.
curse. So that's kind of sad part of it as well. But yeah, it's fantastic. The aunt, his obsession with minis, the new Novaday minis they driving around that one. That's kind of fascinating for me
Yeah.
because you don't really hear that. I we actually will. I live in the area where minis are made. Right, we have a factory.
Uh-huh.
I actually went into the place. I got
The
like a
plant.
free tour to
That's
visit
cool.
how the minis are made. So I've never been in the car factory and how they work and all that stuff. So it's kind of interesting.
Mhm.
Anyway, I digress. But this Rachel Rising story is fantastic. That's the one like
So
you're
good.
talking about. You're reading them. I've been rereading Rachel. I honestly, when I read Rachel Rising, I start craving for Strangers in Paradise. I
Hmm.
don't have. I try to collect them in singles. It's always been very
It's
difficult to
tough,
collect.
eh?
Yeah, Strangers in Paradise is another thing which is not really easy to get hold of, especially the earlier first volume single issue formats.
Hmm.
Those can go because he has several printings as well. People get jumped on. Oh, look, I got the issue 1 of the Strangers in Paradise, and you realize, oh shit, this is like second of whatever printing, or it
Yeah.
is like volume 2, issue 1, and you're like, oh fuck,
Because
kind of thing.
I had the mini series, but it was gold lettering on the front, which was a later printing as well. So I read that first kind of whatever it was, 4 or 6 issues or whatever it was, and then I
I
gifted
always
them to a friend of mine in Victoria, and I really enjoyed them. It'll be the next thing that I read. Like, that'll be, once I'm done this, I'm gonna search
that's
for.
how I
There
did it
must
as
be an
well.
omnibus of that as well too, right?
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
I think he had. There's several printings. There's a pocket-sized Strangers in Paradise editions.
Hmm.
There is trade paperbacks, which is also I think out of print now. He also get
Yeah.
the special edition printed. That's not everywhere was available, so I never pressed for it. But when Rachel Rising came out, even though I have in singles, I went for that because I have an omnibus, so I double dipped on it.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
But Strangers in Paradise is I read it like half single and half digital, or no,
Mm-hmm.
actually half singles, half libraries, because libraries had it. And honestly, you like the way dynamic of the characters in Rachel Rising, Strangers in Paradise. I think he's even
Same
better
thing. Yeah, right.
because of Love and Rocket's influences was kind of really kind of
Yeah.
prominent in that.
Well, he
And
just knows how to write characters. He just knows how to the dialogue. Like the dialogue must be one. From my perspective, I feel
mm,
like the dialogue would be one of the most difficult things to
mm,
write in a story. Not that a story is easy to write, but the dialogue to make it sound natural, to make it sound like
mm.
these are real live people. Like that's how I feel when I read this. It's so natural. They have
Yeah.
so much character. He puts so
Hmm.
much expressiveness into them. Like they feel like real people. It's
Exactly.
really it's amazing stuff, man.
Yeah, the Stranger's Paradise is also kind of like he's got. It's like he's when he speaks about them, it's like almost speaks like about his family members.
Yeah.
So you kind of like get in that, but the way he's writing them is also easy to like understand their personalities. You kind of like start to embrace the personalities. You start to hate some of the personalities, right? Because he's like when that the snake thing in the Rachel Rising, that's how they
Hmm.
take over the body. Then snake comes out
Yep.
afterward. That's just the
Yep.
most disgusting thing. But the way the personality shifts, right, from being the normal
Yeah.
human being, and then things takes over, and they have this like eyes on them, and you're like, geez, how
Yeah.
do you do that? Like you can't clearly see it, right? So you don't get
You could
confused if it's
totally see it.
taken
Yeah.
over. Yeah, that's the beauty, how good it is at that kind of
Hmm.
stuff. So yes,
Just in a
yes,
black and white drawing. It's yeah, super impressive, man. Yeah. So
exactly.
I'm loving it. I'm treating it like Kamui though, and these other things. Like it feels like you sit and you read a chunk, put it down, read something else, read a chunk. You know what I mean? So, but I imagine I'm going to be polishing that one off pretty damn soon because I'm almost halfway through it now. So
When I was reading Kamui, I was thinking if I'm going to put it down, I'm not sure when I'm going to put it back, like read again, because I get so
yeah.
distracted quickly. So, but it was, as I said, I was going in because there's this commotion happened between the villaging and stuff and almost revolution, and that
Uh,
sucked me in, and the Shosuke story was getting better, and so and the volume 3, you have
yep.
the guy with completely like something wrong with his face. So
Yep.
he was the one in charge of that uprising in the village, and his village
Ah,
basically all of them got decimated, and he's the one who is
this guy.
yeah. So his name is Tamara. Wait, let's not get to Kokemaru his name, but
Right.
afterwards became he's hiding. He's a uprising leader, but they were looking for him in the Kamui. And because what they do with leaders, they chop your head off, put it in a stake as an example,
Mhm.
never did it
Warning
again.
to everybody
So
else.
he
Yeah.
was in a hiding, and I guess that's what his ways of dealing. He chopped his like almost like I don't know what he did to his face, so he supposedly not recognizing, and he
Mm,
pretended to become a not he used to be a farmer, right? See, that's why they did uprising, because of the taxes. So he
hmm.
pretended that he's just a vagrant. So they put him in the lowest part. So if you're a vagrant, now you become nothing, right? Because
Yeah.
farmers still
Right.
had some sort of
Some sort
better
of rank standard.
state,
Yeah.
state
Yeah.
kind of as a rank. Anyway,
Right.
so yeah, I was reading this big chunk, right? Honestly, like Tomb Raider, Tomb of Dracula, not Raider. What I'm talking about? That's not a game.
Hmm.
Tomb of Dracula. I'm taking time because it's no, don't do that. I'm
Oh, oh, I thought you were showing it.
I'm not talking about it. I'm just saying I
Oh, I
haven't
see.
read it because I took the break from one. I can't read two big chunky books.
Yeah, it's a
It,
lot.
it's too much. It's too much in my head. I need to give
Hmm.
one time, and then I maybe if I have enough headspace, I give to another one. Okay, my last book of
Give
the
her.
of this one.
Oh, yeah, right. The
So
new remainder.
issue 3, and so last issue was very quiet. There was no action, and the way it ended, you would think that's going to be action, and this was full of action. There's barely any story, much to talk about. Just admire the work of Dave Acuna, and he's, I think, wasn't he the one? Maybe it just looks very similar. But he could be very good Captain America artist, to be honest, because the way
Mm.
is drawing this, especially because of the time and era, like World War kind of things. It's so he's basically a woman guy is in the hiding, but they're looking for him. There's a situation where he has to basically, in order to survive or run away or hide, he needs to murder this guy who is basically the torchlight. He tries to do it quietly, didn't work. So because his gun shoots off, and he's like, while you this action in the panels, you see he's basically explaining his own frame of mind with this little sentences like shots echo, split second fuck up, clock goes short, captain look, like, so it's really a short minimal reading. Honestly, you can breeze through this issue, but I think it's the only way you could tell a story in comic books in this way. You can't do that in a simple like other ways of writing, right? And this panel just does the job for him, basically, for Rick Remender, because Ava Cunha is telling the story really well. It's very gritty, it's very dark. Kind of feel like you should be a bit more light, but in telling the story of the time, where there's like war between things, where nothing works and everything is crumbled apart, and the only thing you see of the light is the whizzing bullets, and he's running away trying to save himself, and he's getting in situations where I don't know how long can you last, to be honest, the way this issue is going, because he's been wounded already in several places. This is just the beginning. You think, okay, he kind of gets a reprieve. He sees the bridge. This is what he's running from. Those bullets are going through. He has a map where he says, I don't know if you remember, but last week I said that he has this map where he pinpoint where he has to go. He has the last C4 available for him. He wants to do the last deed, kind of suicide bomber kind of thing. But things going to change for him in here. And while he's getting beaten by this ginormous douche, and he gets landed in the water, another thing this dude does to him is smacks the biggest blade in his shoulder, and he says like, "Oh, it's sinking." He doesn't care. He drives the knife down and gets to my bone. It's like he reaches the bone, and he's explaining that it's really good. I mean, it's not like I say. One absolutely just storytelling, one issue, and another issue is just beautiful scenery and escape plan, right? Just of survival. Even the in the mirror. So he's trying to survive, and he finds the C4. There's a turbine. There's a blood. He survives. He gets to steal a bike, but it doesn't go that far away. It really reminds me of Bucky Barnes escaping, for example, in Captain America movie. And he did write recommend Captain America, so in a sense he has an idea. So, but he's escaping. He gets into the shop, breaks the window, gets in the shop, sees, okay, this is it. They about to find me. I don't have anything, and sees the latch in the floorboards. Gets in there, and when he ends up, spoiler alert, it's a family hiding from the bombs. So what he's gonna do next? And then he has this. I didn't have time to read, but he hell of a writes a lot. Recommend and answering a lot of questions to people. So I'm not sure. He says,
holy shit!
Yeah, 2 pages. It's like two. It's I think 2 issues worth, because he always does have letters pages at the back.
Right.
But so this one is piqued my, like, at the beginning I didn't know what to feel. I really like the way what he has in here. I like this kind of small, like almost Bondish type fight scenes, escape scenes. It really lends itself for the comic book. It's a fast-paced thing. So far, it's all the action scenes really portrays it well. I'm kind of found out that he has bigger stakes at home now, so I care a little bit more about the character. I don't really like it's a war situation and all that stuff, but you have to kind of open your mind to all sorts of storytelling. So I want to see if that kind of makes me continuously interest me. So how far I recommend I can take it. But so far, I'm open and I'm okay with it. So issue 3 keeps me peaked still.
Yeah, cool.
He's saying that this book is actually quite good for him. Is getting into another printings, so he's happy. He's keep announcing, So it's good that he's going. But yeah, I've too many of one writer who writes too many books in one single month. I
Yeah.
think is a bit too
Yeah,
much.
he's throwing too much at the wall, I feel like, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, and it's not everything landing so far. So he's
No.
what is it? The seasons are absolutely. Did you read the seasons? Did you manage to read
Yeah,
it?
I'm still picking it up. So I read 7 and 8 actually. I have 7 and
Oh
8.
wow!
And it picked up, like it's picked up, but I mean it's the same thing. I just feel like he's
Uh-huh.
just writing a little too much and not
Yeah.
really putting his. I mean, there's these 2 issues were better, I would say, but
Uh-huh.
better in a book that hasn't really caught my attention, doesn't say too much, right? Like this, I don't know, man. You just end up picking things up out of habit, really. So I feel
Yeah.
like this is on my pull list. I just haven't gotten around to taking it off my pull list, even though I can very easily do so through like, League of Comic Geeks and stuff. It's very easy to take it off. I
Mhm.
just haven't. There's something where I'm still sticking with it a little bit, right? And I don't know, man. These 2 issues sat and stared at me for a little while before I finally read them because I'm just not excited to read them. It's not like when I get it, I gotta sit down. Like when I get Kaya, for example, I sit down, I read that. That's pretty much the first thing that I read.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
first of all, it's an easy read. It doesn't take very much time, but I'm
Yeah.
also interested to see where it goes, right? Whereas this one, it's like, maybe I'll read that one third, and then I get to it's like, man, maybe I read it fourth, and maybe I just put it off to the side. I'll read some other things, and I'll get to it. So I don't know why I keep picking it up, but yeah, there you have it.
I find it kind of different way of me. So when the pull is like, okay, I don't get my pull is abysmal. Honestly, it's sort of tiny. Now I cancelled for sure Sam and Twitch. I'm not picking up because
Right?
I'm done with that.
Yeah,
It just didn't pay off. I don't
wasn't
want
doing
to.
anything for you.
No, because it's probably reads better in the whole thing. It wasn't grabbing issue by issue like this one, for example. I knew what I expect, and I got it exactly what I expected it, with a bit
Hmm.
more flair and enhanced storytelling from the artist, because this guy knows to employ somebody who does really, 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 really good job, right, in paneling and setting up story. So makes you a little more excited to see what the artist also can do with a story that minuscule as an action scene, right? Throughout the whole issue, you just go around and you escaping, right? But it still piques my interest. Whereas, like those seasons, there was one character I cared for, which was
Hmm.
Spring, and that only gave me that much. There's an overlapping story with big threats supposed to be, but they never gave anything. So
Hmm.
Ishik's, after when I sold them, I the 6 issues, because after 6th issue, I didn't know if I wanted to. So if I start doubting if I want to, I just decide to myself, no, I'm giving up.
And that's where it's taken a turn. Like
Yeah.
Spring has really, she's decided, fuck this.
Oh, there you go.
She's figured something out on how to combat this. So she's now armored up. She's ready to go. At the
Hmm.
end of the next issue, there's a big spoiler with Winter. Winter looks like she's maybe the villain of the whole story now. So I mean, it's taken. So those are the. But again, like those sound huge, but they're really. I mean, I guess they're big considering what the story was, but it's still really not enough to
Yeah.
like kind of get me drawn in. Like I said, I enjoyed those 2 issues than I have for the previous ones, but yeah,
Mhm.
I don't know. I guess I'll
So
go to 10, maybe. I don't know. Who knows? I'll probably end up just keep getting it because I'm just too lazy to take it off the list.
um I have not seen Usagi anymore. No
No, I
announcement.
haven't seen anything either.
So I'm worried. I heard something. Okay, there you go. There's somebody who had rights to do a Usagi Yojimbo story. So Sansakai even advertising him, the person who's gonna do, like, I don't know, is it how many issues, but apparently he's gonna do a story of Usagi Yojimbo. So different artists, not Stan Sakai even writing. He's not even writing
Yeah.
it. He's artist is going to completely kind of have the reins of Usagi Yojimbo. So I'm not sure what's happening.
Interesting.
I'm kind of worried because I want more,
Yeah.
because I need that fixed, because I'm always looking to see in my the list what's coming out. And honestly, like what, it's been a month now and a half. I have not seen
It
anything.
feels like it feels like it's been a couple of months, honestly.
But there you go. So there's nothing. I'm not seeing anything. Your
No,
your
I've
League,
seen nothing.
League of Geeks, doesn't it give you advanced look to what books are
It
coming?
does, but I don't often go onto that League of Comic Geeks.
Okay.
Mostly like when I see the books, it's because of Galaxy Comics. I go through their entire new release shelf, all 4 racks or whatever they have.
Good that you have racks to look at.
Yeah, I mean that's the easiest way because then I can just sit and flip through stuff. Like it's even though I rarely buy them, I always love looking at Marvel and DC as well too. But
Let me check.
yeah, that's when that stuff usually jumps
Dark
out to me.
Horse website. Surely that's the way you're gonna be information, right? Info, go on, go on. Oh, why are you taking so long to open?
It's frozen. Doesn't want
Seriously?
you to know anything about Usagi.
No.
While you're digging, I'll
Yeah,
talk
go.
about Godzilla versus Kansas City. So
Mhm.
the newest in this series of one shot Godzilla versus America. Um, the draw here is the different artists. I'll show you the lineup here. There's the lineup.
Moody, Ludwig. Williams the third. Jake Smith.
Yeah,
Okay.
Jake Smith is the guy that you'll know. He was doing Mothra, and then he's doing this City Wolf or whatever it's called. So some good art. It's just the stories are really like it really becomes like a tourist manual for the different city. It's just Godzilla hitting the big monuments of the city, which obviously is going to be part of the story. It ends up being that's the theme of every story where it's, hey, let's look at our stadium. Did you know that we had this historic building? Oh my god, Godzilla's destroying it. So there's not much of like a story incorporating that. The art in this one is beautiful though. There's some really nice styles going on here.
Mhm.
I'll show you the Jake Smith one because his style is just so great. Yeah, this is Jake Smith here. So he was doing that Mothra book that was a beauty to
Oh yeah.
behold. Same thing. The story in Mothra was not really engaging at all.
Oh,
He
is
did
it?
that. He did a Godzilla miniseries as well too that I was reading, War on Humanity or something like that. And
Yeah.
again, it was his art that was the draw. So it's cool to see him. I mean, I think it's a really good avenue for more of these maybe not the biggest mainstream artists to have a stab at doing a short Godzilla story. It's just that more often than not, the stories are a little bit dull.
Mhm.
So in this one, we get some new monsters that are created from like hot sauce, and then it continues. The story continues with the next artist. So they've done a little bit of a collaboration. It's just the next artist's style is so very different than Jake's that I was already losing interest in the story as it was that I didn't get too much farther in. So for one shots, I don't know. I think that they're probably worth picking up if you're interested.
Mhm.
I think it's a really great idea. I just wish that the stories had a little more to them. It's a good opportunity, I guess, to flex your short story muscle. I think
Nothing on the website, so I can't see anything on
nothing
the
on League of Comic Geeks. No,
Usagi. Yujin comic. Nothing is like. What the hell? What is it? What is the previews?
yeah, maybe it was on a hiatus while they're figuring all that out. I guess.
Oh, exclusive. But that's 2024, so that's not it. Oh, okay. Is that No, it's the same thing. It's the ones we read,
Yeah, that's that
10,000
one. Yeah,
Plumes.
yeah.
They're only that saying that, oh, look, it's coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Just 2024, 2025, nothing new.
Right.
Hey, what's going on? We need to fix off the Usagi. I need it.
Yeah,
I
we
need
need
my
more.
pull list.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of sad now because he had kind of a break before when he changed
Publishers.
yeah, but
Mm-hmm.
well, Jesus, Dark Horse, the website is not wanting to open really well. I don't know why. Why is it so slow? Sucks. I hate that kind of stuff. Like you talk to amongst yourself, but there's not. You press it,
Well, I'll show you something else I got then.
Go on.
My man Nate Doyle. Shout out to Nate Doyle. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if he watches these. The one comic artist I interviewed on the channel.
Mm-hmm.
He's got this series Crooked Teeth.
Mm.
I'm a big fan of, and issue number 10 has come out.
Wow.
So I ordered it from him as soon as he made the announcement on Instagram. I follow him on Instagram. I jumped on it right away. My favorite story that he's been doing, Blood and Thunder, is on hiatus for this issue. He says he promises that it's coming back, but he's taken a bit of a break from it. It's kind of like a journal, half sketchbook, half short story book. This Crooked Teeth, and it's always great. I really enjoy his style. I like getting that kind of mixture of things where there's stuff that feels really thought out, but there's stuff that feels very of the moment. And because he's such a nice guy, he sent me. He also threw in an issue of the Domino Comics anthology called Jaywalk, issue number 3. He's got a piece in here in the middle of the book. So that was super nice of him to throw that in for me. This is Floyd Tangeman and Austin English doing this. So it's put out by Domino Comics themselves. I've started reading it. I have one other issue. I think I've only got one other issue of Jaywalk. And it's one of those books, like, I find it interesting to have. It's nice to see different styles that people are doing. It just, the book doesn't really resonate with me. But it's cool. There's some really good looking stuff in here. Like, this jumps out at me for sure. So nice of him to throw that in. He also sent me a very nice letter along with it, and also threw in a drawing for me of Ricky from Trailer Park Boys, for all you Canadians or anybody that knows Trailer Park Boys. So super nice of him. There's a drawing on the backside too. So very, very cool. So huge shout out to Nate. I would strongly recommend. Like, he's got a couple of things. He sent me a couple of stickers too. Incorrectly Anatomical is the name of he did kind of like I think it was just a sketchbook collection. So he did that, and he's got I think it's called Dungeon Mage as well too, which is kind of like a Dungeons and Dragons type fantasy adventure that he's writing. I think issue 2 is finished. I don't know if it's out yet or not, but yeah, he's a great guy. And that Crooked Teeth is such a solid series. I don't have the whole thing because the early stuff is way, way out of print, but I've got most of them, and every issue is really great.
Cool. So nothing. Upcoming things are just graphic novels of what we read already. November.
On a break. Hopefully he's okay.
Maybe. I mean, I've seen him. He's advertising the Japan things, where he's promoting it and has another figure exclusive to Japanese market.
Oh wow!
Because that's his money maker, right?
Yeah.
The figures. I think he's only exclusive those figures, so it sells out all the time. So it makes it for him. So
yeah.
But nothing. She said, I haven't yet found anything like exciting for me. Maybe because I don't. The problem for me with pull list, I don't have much information anymore. The previous website, which used to be my thing, I used to check it out sometimes to know what's coming out, what's exciting. But if you miss it, like for example, like this Voyager, right? I didn't know if I wanted to do having singles, right? So I was like, oh, but the minute you pass that, you can't get issue 1 now.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with the comic collecting, right? We've always mentioned that. I think most of the people mentioned, if you don't pick it up, miss the boat. That's it.
Well, because you never know what's going to be a hit, right? You never know what's all of a sudden going to resonate.
Yeah, like Sacrifice.
So because we're talking about them, let's bask in the glory that is the fucking Usagi Yojimbo 7-inch black and white figure. I mean, look how goddamn gorgeous this shit is.
Yeah.
An absolute stunner.
Christmas.
The Turtles line is really good as well too. Oh, look at that. 2 different heads.
Maybe I should ask. my hubby to buy me for Christmas. This as a present.
Amazing. I mean, this site is saying, oh yeah, it says that there's some $60 American for one of them from Maple and Mangoes. Oh, unless this is a Canadian website. Maybe I've stumbled onto something here. Maybe this makes my Christmas list as well too. Yeah, I just did a search and clicked the first image. I've never heard of this site.
I've never.
Some TMNT stuff as well.
I was like,
yeah, they're really doing this kind of line work on it to make him look a little more comic booky, which I really like the way that looks. Look at this packaging. It's ridiculous, man. Very ridiculous.
Yeah.
Anyway, we could look at toys all day. I'm saving that website. I want to browse that sucker.
Yeah, I was thinking about them. Something from DC, but now I don't even know if I want. Like DC is also a difficult thing. I'm waiting for my library to tell me if I can pick up Wonder Woman to make up some sort of time. If absolute Wonder Woman is something I want. Oh, Taschen has announced that they're doing the Donald Duck series.
Oh, really?
So those ginormous Taschen books.
Yeah.
Editions they do Marvel now. They decided to do Donald Duck. That's going to be sold out, and that's going to probably cost you a fortune when it comes out. Or, well, no, it is going to be a fortune when it's come out, but also it's going to be double fortune when we're going to be out of stock, and it's going to become like a granddaddy of books to sell because somehow Donald Duck is very popular.
Yeah.
It's like all these collectors. Same thing with Sago Jimbo. Those hardcovers. I've never seen them in the wild. They never have been. When they release them, they sell out. Those nice collected editions. They have the gold foil on as a bag, almost like a leather bound things. Special edition. Nobody sells them. If you find them, randomly somebody decides to part ways with them, and one is like $500 a pop.
Yeah, shit, man.
Or 300. It depends which volume. Like some volumes are much more sought after than other ones. So I'm looking to see when the Turtles new 13 gonna come out. I guess it's not.
Yeah, it doesn't have the date, just December. Did it have a date in there? League of Comic Geeks there?
I'm looking to see if December, usually the end of it. There's only, they're going right until this. You can go December as well. I'm looking to see. But they all all issues. You have to go through all of them. Oh, Sacrifices looks interesting. Cover. The pigeon looking old, but it's not no pigeon. It's probably a flower. Because pigeon's supposed to be dead.
Oh, sorry. Go on.
No. Go on. You talk.
Well, I'm just saying, like maybe if we're done, we'll sign off.
Oh
we
yes.
Can keep chatting. Yeah, we can keep chatting offline.
Sorry.
Do you have
no, I'm not trying to be boring.
No. It's just no. We can talk. It's just We're not if we're not going to talk books, we can chat offline still. Do you have anything else you want to talk about that you read, or is that all that you read this week?
That's what I read. Yes.
That's it. Yeah.
That's what I got.
Cool. I don't know about next Sunday. I'm starting work again this week, so we'll see how it goes. But stick around. Subscribe to LahRasa, and because we'll be on her channel next. But yeah, nice to see everybody. Thanks everybody for showing up. Donald Rex, Paula Costa, Garage Geek was here. Mr. Earl Grey, of course, was here. Who else did we see? Oh yeah, of course, 420. Thanks for joining us, everybody. And we'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Later, people.
Cheerios.